Hey guys, it's TF now. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing another action figure review. This is going to be of the Star Wars The Black Series George Lucas in Stormtrooper disguise, part of the Lucasfilm 50th anniversary of Star Wars Black Series releases. Very cool to finally have a George figure in hand here. We've had a few other real person releases for different Hasbro lines and section stuff. Most notably Stan Lee for Marvel Legends, as well as for Hasbro Pulse. I believe we have exclusives of Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. And now we have George here. Maybe one day we'll get a Spielberg. Who knows? Anyway, let's just take a look right at the blister card here. Top left, 50th Lucasfilm anniversary logo. Star Wars right there. It's very classic, like the retro action figures and whatnot. You do have ages 4 and up on the top right. You have the name George Lucas in Stormtrooper disguise. Right here, you can see in the blister card, the figure in the box, some of the contents that it comes with on the right there. Images of some Stormtroopers from the original film, the Kenner logo, as well as a choking hazard. Here is a wide shot of the back of the packaging, just to give you a quick look at what that all looks like there. Top half here, it just says George Lucas in Stormtrooper disguise. A little read up if you want to pause and read that right now. Top right does say Star Wars The Black Series. On the left, there's an image of George with a Sand Trooper. And then here is a timeline of Lucasfilm releases, as well as its inception and whatnot. And then you can see some other stuff like some multilingual warnings. Bottom right, Disney and Hasbro logo. And this is a fan channel exclusive. I don't believe you'll find these in stores, but I do have the barcode in case you need it. Let's go ahead and get this figure out of the packaging. Here's the figure out of the packaging, and honestly, I don't know how I feel about it yet, because it's really cool to have a George Lucas figure. That head sculpt is pretty sick. However, if you're a customizer and you make special head sculpts, you might already have a George Lucas head, or you might know where to get one. So I don't know if this figure is entirely necessary. This is a $27 figure on a previously released Stormtrooper body, just with a special head, removable helmet, and a blaster. Take that as you will. Some people are going to keep this on the card. I took it out for review purposes. So, yeah, I don't know if I'm the dummy yet for opening this out of the box. Let's just go ahead and take a look at what he comes with, and we'll take a closer look at the figure. So first of all, I'm going to do a comparison with this removable helmet with the 2020 version. Biggest difference, if you can tell, is there is silver metallic paint around the bridge of the nose, whereas this is just a matte gray right there, or maybe even a glossy gray, I don't remember. But the blue of the vents is a little bit brighter right there on the new one, and comes through a little bit better, I think, than this one here. Actually, they both come through pretty well. This one's just a tiny bit better. I think the paint apps of the printing of like certain things, like the gray right here around the cheeks and whatnot, and actually on the back too, with these little back vents. I never knew what these are called, but it's a little bit sloppy looking right here. I think the printing of the paint apps are a little bit better actually on the removable helmet, so that's nice to see. But other than that, the mold and sculpt is virtually the exact same. So there's that. Now, this is a slightly soft plastic, and this is actually really difficult. This is the second time I've had to do this. This is pretty difficult to put on George's head. I can tell you right now, you may just want to pose this figure as George, because once you pop this on, you're going to see that it rubs on the nose horribly. I think if you do it like that, where you like to get the nose in first, maybe you can get in. That actually looks pretty decent. It hides the head sculpt really well already. And then, just as a comparison, I have the other one here. I think the helmet on the new one looks, the head looks slightly raised. This is also pretty loose and goes up and down, so it might make it look like it has a longer neck than it does. But, I mean, I don't really see much of a difference here. They both look pretty natural looking. Maybe I should back out a little bit. Yeah, that's fine. And then, standard D11. We've had a few different retoolings of the mold over the past couple of years. They have the flashlight, or whatever this is supposed to be on here. This is actually a brighter gray, and I think they put a little bit of like get up a little bit brighter. Some glittery plastic in there, but it's just molded in this gray, and honestly it looks kind of like a flat plastic if I'm being honest. And I believe it is the same mold that we got with this 2021. Again, there is one big reason why we're all getting these figures, because it's George. Now, I think honestly they should have just done a version. I know we all recognize him now with the gray hair and the gray facial hair. I think they should have given us a version with brown hair when he was younger, because this looks more like a younger George. You customizers out there will probably be able to do like some paint apps to make it look brown, but I don't know. Personally, it's not bad looking. I just think maybe they should have done a younger version, with the hair. I think the actual sculpt on the hair looks pretty good too. And first of all, of course, the face printing looks really good. To me, let's see if I can get an image of older George looking straight at the camera, if I can find one, and hopefully I can find one of younger George too. I think it looks really good. Maybe not perfect, but yeah, pretty decent, man. The actual sculpting on the beard looks really good. I do think the paint apps aren't the cleanest, but it's nice to get a little bit of variation, not just a flat dark gray. The bright gray on there looks really good. There's the back of the head too. Nice. All these paint apps actually bring out the details of the hair really well, I think. It's pretty well detailed already too. I dig that. All the nice waves in the hair. The hair looks a little bit separated in the sculpt, how sometimes, hair is a separate part of the actual head, and they glue it on there or whatnot. But, yeah, that, I don't know. That's a tiny bit distracting the way that all this looks, but it's not too bad. Part of me thinks that he should have come with some glasses, too. I don't know if I have any lying around that he can use. Other than that, man, look at this thing. This is a Stormtrooper figure. We've gotten these plenty of times. I need to adjust this one, but there's virtually no difference between the George figure's body and this 2020 Stormtrooper, man. So, not to say that's a bad thing, but I don't know, maybe they should have just actually given us a unique body. I know they would have been basically pulling Marvel Legends style stuff for, to give us a normal body, but that's just me, I think. And I know it's the gimmick of, I wouldn't say gimmick, but the whole thing with the realistic characters that their heads are on bodies of Star Wars characters. That's the whole thing. But I don't know. It's cool to get another Stormtrooper. I guess you can double this as a Stormtrooper because of the helmet. So, it's not entirely bad. But again, if you just want a normal Stormtrooper, didn't really care about getting a George figure, you could just get the normal one for a little over $20. I'm seriously looking. There's I think the white might be a little bit brighter on George, on what's molded, but just ever so slightly to where you can't even tell. And if you look at the stomach, the paint apps, the type of paint that they're using in the markings in the stomach are the same. All the molding here is the same. The black underparts of the suit and whatnot, all of that's the same. They even got a little bit of a brighter gray on this little canister or whatever this is. I never remember. Right there on the back, and it's a little bit darker on the 2020 version. That's it. I don't think there is much of a unique difference. I think the hands I think are pretty much the same. I think after owning 2020 version for a long time, the index finger looks a little bit more protruding and whatnot. I just realized I said whatnot a lot, don't I? I did a review recently where I just continuously said whatnot. Anyway, yeah, I don't really see much of a difference. So if you don't really care that much about a George figure, you might want to skip out on this one if I'm being honest. Not to sound like this is bad. Also, I forgot to mention, I think I've already mentioned this actually. This is really loose here. It's not very loose here. Yeah, this part of the chest is pretty loose, so keep that in mind. Yeah, if you don't really care that much about a George or just want more affordable Black Series Stormtroopers, then I would just get the regular ones, honestly. I think they've been in stock from different retailers for a while. A lot of us, again, main reason why we're getting this is a George figure. So, and I've reviewed Stormtroopers on this body 3 or 4 times by now, so I'm not really going to go over the crazy amount of details. I mean, if you look, there's not much different when it comes to all this sculpting with the underparts and whatnot. I said it again. It's not much different than you know, a 2020 version. So there's just not many reasons for me to go over the body. I was just doing some extensive comparisons between this body and the 2021. Articulation is about the same too. There's a ball peg up in the head, which I've tried to remove this head. I have to heat this up if I'm going to try to remove it. I already know it's not going to be compatible with Marvel Legends just because of the size of certain head pegs and whatnot. But it can tilt a little bit. It can rotate up there too, and it also has a rotation into the body, or like a ball joint into the body. So you get all this combined range of motion going up. Going down could be a little bit better, but not bad. Side to side tilts, and then rotation is no problem. We do have butterfly joints here. Arms go all the way around. We do have more of these separate shoulder pad pieces that can also swivel on their own. They go out this far. We have a single jointed elbow that bends over 90, and then it swivels at the elbow too. Up and down hinge for this hand, and it also swivels in and out hinge here. It also swivels there. Ball jointed waist, go all the way around, forward, back, side to side. You can do a rotation, kick out like that. You'll have to rotate the leg armor a little bit, but you can kick out. The back actually is pretty decent. I don't know if it was decent on the 2020 version either, but you know, in and out splits. We do have an upper thigh swivel, single joint knee, swivel at the knee. A little redundant, but I'm not going to knock it too much for it. Foot could bend down, but I'm having trouble doing that because they're really tight. Up is not amazing for the ankles, but we do have ankle rockers. For size comparison, since I've already brought it out pretty much the whole review, right next to him is the 2020 Stormtrooper. They're about the same height. Right next to him on the right is the Marvel Legends Stan Lee. And with that exact body, I think they're really close to the same height, if not Stan being a little bit taller. Far left, Marvel Legends Black Suit Spider-Man's going to be a little bit taller. Far right, first ever Black Series Mando. It's actually going to look in person a little bit shorter, you know, probably really close to the same height. Just where I'm sitting right now, the Mando looks a little bit shorter than George. Overall, I did sound pretty bummed during this review, and if I'm being honest, this is a pretty sick figure. It's cool to have an official 6-inch George Lucas action figure. The problem is, at least if you ask me, there's a multitude of reasons not to get this figure. First of all, if you or someone you know makes custom head sculpts, you might as well just make your own George head sculpt. Whatever materials it's going to cost to make a George head sculpt, it's probably going to be about the same, if not cheaper, than this Black Series here. Second, if you wanted this to double as a Black Series Stormtrooper, you might as well pick up a 2020 version of the Black Series Stormtrooper. It's maybe a little, I'm pretty sure it's still in stock in Big Bad Toy Store. It's maybe a little over $20, and it would be, with shipping and whatnot, about the same as this George here. The biggest reasons to get this, two reasons if you ask me. One, to keep it in the forefront of your display of your Star Wars The Black Series collection, which is what I'm going to do. And two, to keep it in the box and to preserve it for a little while. I don't think this is going to be as sought after, maybe in a couple of years when you can't get it anymore. But right now, I don't think it's going to be super sought after. I don't think it's going to sell out like crazy, at least for now. So you might want to wait on this figure until it drops a little bit in price. That's just my opinion. You know, I don't think there's anything too remarkable about it. It is cool to have a George figure, but not for $27 to $28. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment down below what you think about the figure, what you think about the review. Leave a like, share amongst your friends. Follow me on Instagram for more content over there, and I'll see you guys later.